Hi everybody, this is Greg Harries. I am your live stream host for tonight. I'm going to be bringing you commentary and scores and things like that over the air and in the chat room. Do know that tonight you're going to be hearing from, oh man, I should really open this page before I do this thing, huh? Tonight you're going to be hearing from Creighton Prep in this 5:30 bout, along with Skutt Catholic, Waverly High School, and Omaha Northwest. Omaha Northwest is a team coached by Chris August, making a very strong showing in the tournament so far. Waverly High School is coached by Stacy Waite, who already has a team in finals, and they've shown up really strongly in their first two bouts as well. Creighton Prep had a little bit of a harder road to get here. They got two second-place finishes. They were a finalist in the first year with the program, and have been semifinalists every year since then, so they're returning to the stage as that. And then Skutt Catholic is another Catholic high school in the mix tonight, coached by Sarah Liz Strauss. So this is some really great poetry coming your way. We put a competition format on it and everything, and we make it competitive and put scores on things and stuff like that. But really, what we're here for is the poetry. We don't really care about the scores at all. But the scores are there. We'll be tracking them in the chat room, and you'll be able to get a sense of sort of unofficially what's going on in the room tonight. I'm going to kill the microphone while we're waiting, but please share the link. It's youtube.com/ltabomaha. Please share that around on Facebook and on YouTube. We want to get a lot of people in here listening, but we'd love to have a lot of people in the room. And also, if you want to donate to support the work, you can do that at ltabomaha.org or ltabgreatplains.org. We're in the middle of our final fundraising push for the year, trying to fundraise to bring in professional quality DVD recording for the finals and other great stuff like that. So I'm going to put those URLs in the chat room. Please share them and let people know that they need to be a part of this awesome work, whether they're watching it or supporting it financially or whatever. And I'll be on the mic with you. I might hand things off to Mary Beth Becker because I'm coaching Omaha Central in the second bout tonight. So I might turn things over to her. And, yeah, so just come and be a part of things. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to kill the mics out for a little while so we don't get dinged on copyright violations for our DJs' fine tunes. You got to come here live to experience those. And we'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Hey folks, just to update you, we'd have to keep the audio down while our DJ plays copyrighted music and all that. But we will be live in just a few minutes, just waiting on our final judge, and then we're going to get things underway. Again, you're going to hear from Creighton Prep, Skutt, you're going to hear from Waverly, and you're going to hear from Omaha Northwest in this bout. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're glad to have you guys along for the ride. Please share the link. It's youtube.com/ltabomaha, and please share the fundraising link. You can find that at ltabomaha.org and ltabgreatplains.org. LTAB is how you spell that each and every one of those times. But let people know. We want to get a lot of people here in the chat room and talking about the poetry, celebrating these students' amazing work. And we'll be getting underway in a few minutes here, okay? Talk to you soon.
All right, y'all, my name is Sadiqa Poindexter, and I will be your cruise director through this lovely event. So let's get it going. All right, welcome to the Great Plains. Basically, slam poetry was invented in the 80s by a Chicago construction worker named Mark Smith. That's right. And then Kevin Koval and Anna West in 2001 started Louder Than a Bomb, which started in Chicago, but now it is in Nebraska or in the Great Plains, as we like to say, with 32 teams and growing every year. Give it up for yourselves. All right, now, what's going to happen is 4 teams, which is Skutt, Waverly, Northwest, and Creighton Prep, are going to be competing tonight. They will have between 4 and 10 poets, and each team will send up 5 poems. So it's going to go quick for y'all. Each poem must be original work and last no longer than 3 minutes. We will dock points after that. Judges, you do not have to worry about that. Your job is to make sure that you stay consistent throughout the evening. We will have a special feature, which is our 5th round, and that is where we always have the group piece round. That'll be extremely exciting for y'all. So let's give it up for the group piece. All right. Also, now remember, Poetry Slam, no matter what else we say about it or what people feel for or against it, Poetry Slam is about family. There are people in this room who I love dearly and would have their children if that was an option. We need to keep that in mind. So when we're going through this, we need to make sure this is the safest space possible. First of all, that means when someone comes on this stage, they are coming to bleed and share for you. So you need to make sure that you clap them all the way up here and warm up the stage. We good? Also, in the interest of making sure we're creating the safest space possible, we also ask that the poems not contain profanity, sexually explicit or pornographic language, gratuitous violence, racial, ethnic, gender-biased, homophobic, religious, ableist, or otherwise discriminatory slurs, speech, or language, or as I like to say, y'all are my people and no one gets to mess with my people. Are we all on board for that? All right, now another branch of my family tree are the judges. Judges, put your scorecards up. All right, perfect. Now, these are my judges, and they will judge each poem they hear on a scale of 0 to 10. We will drop the high and low score and add the 3 middle together. Now, always remember, at the end of this bout, whoever has the highest numbers, those are going to be the people who move on to the finals. Judges, your job is to score every poem on the merits of that poem. So whether we're going to get a calibration point up here for you, and every poem you hear after that, if you like it a little better, give it a higher score. If you don't like it as much, give it a lower score. But your job is always to remain consistent, because our audience, on the other hand, will have opinions about the things you say, because family always got opinions, right? So this is an example of how that's going to work. Audience, if one of the judges happens to give a poem that you love a score of a 2.8, what do? All right, but if they get up here and they give the poem you love straight 10s, what do? All right, we are all about the audible, clear, clapping and cheering and responding to judges, but always be respectful. Yet again, judges are my people just like y'all are, and nobody messes with my people. Do not make me come down there. All right, now, audience, remember to give as much love to poets as you can. This is all about community and family. Also, it's a family gathering. You got to be respectful to your people. Turn off your cell phones. Remember to do that. Also, do I have an Andrew F? So remember that thing that's supposed to happen at the beginning? Home? Who's that? Okay, thank you very much. All right, now, audience, do you think you're ready to go? No. All right, it sucks to go first, and we make allowances for that. Judges, this is also your chance to get yourselves ready for the gloriousness that's about to ensue. So in order to do that, we make sure we have a poet come up here, and that way she can feed you her words and give you a chance to get ready for all of this. So ladies and gentlemen, you better give it up for Denise from Southeast.
Hi guys, how's everybody doing? Good. Sorry, I just kind of lost my voice on Saturday. Okay, I'm Denise Yermisheva. I'm a senior at Southeast High School, and this poem is called Dear Dad. Dear Dad, as I look at you and sister through a transparent glass of pain, you bond over her engagement and begin to explore the internet for the dress. You connect over it all. The party favors the reception, and where on earth can possibly be the greatest place for your dearest daughter? Dear Dad, as I watch you and brother ponder your thoughts about which polyester tux is nicer and what the rest of the men in the party will wear. At times, you talk like old mates laughing about the past, and at times, you talk sternly to brother as if you were his drill sergeant ordering 40 push-ups. Dear Dad, you look past me like the invisibility cloak that you have placed over me that has an off and on switch, and you have set it so that it is always on. Dear Dad, where are you? Can't you see that I actually need you? Dear Dad, do you know that at night I fake being asleep so that I could pretend if I were awake, you would acknowledge me and ask how my day went? How are auditions? When do I get to see you, hear you sing? How's your photography going? Dad, do you know about all the blood that has been spilled from my thighs and from my arms like a river that can never get dry? Or how many pills would it take to end this life? How many seconds? How many minutes? Who would find me? How would you feel? Would you feel all the pain that I have felt? Would you even cry? Dear Dad, have you ever looked at me and were proud to call me your daughter, and not the words that have been spoken from your lips time and time and again, that I was a disappointment and an embarrassment to this family? Have you ever looked into my eyes and seen the pain and the hurt of not feeling like a family? My eyes, they are the windows to my soul, and they will undoubtedly spill all the secrets that my heart holds like a Pandora box being ripped open and the monsters being unleashed into this world. Dear Dad, I want you to know something. I want you to know that someday someone will love me for who I am and not for who I was, for my past mistakes. Do not make me who I am. I am not the thief. I am not the chain-smoking, non-menthol, cancer-creating cigarette that I press against my lips to feel a sense of relaxation. I am not the drug abuser who was merely trying to escape the troubles of reality. I am not the empty bottle of Jack because the little girl didn't know when to stop. I am who I am. I am the one who looks for a better future, who strives to be more than just ordinary. I am who I am in this moment and in this place. Dear Dad, forgive me. Forgive me for when the memory of you begins to fade. Dear Dad, as I look at you and sister through a transparent glass of pain, I sit and wonder, will that ever be us?
All right, that was our clearing poet, our sacrifice poet from Lincoln Southeast. Her scores won't count for the official scoring of the bout, but we celebrate her all the same, so wonderful work. Lincoln Southeast was a debut team this year, but really showed up well and nearly made semifinals. We expect a lot from them next year. So here we go.
8.1 and 8.6 and 8.7 and 8.9 and a 9.8. Give it up for your poet. Also, you may notice something a little bit different about this bout besides me dancing all over the stage, and that is the fact that we have lovely people here to make sure we have interpreting services available. So give it up for Pamela and Tara. All right, now, this is when we go in. The order is going to be Skutt, Waverly, Northwest, and Prep. Y'all ready? Prove it to me. Y'all ready? All right, now, give it up for Skutt!
All right, so the first poet of the night comes from Skutt. These are the first scores that'll be counted. So let's see how the judges warm up tonight. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Matt Miner. I'm a junior from Skutt Catholic.
I like your words!
And this is Playing Suicide Hotline. One, I never thought the first time I asked out a girl would be over Facebook, or that it would be preceded by your contemplation of suicide. Two, I was showing you a reason to keep going, but you were so eager to paint your forearms in shades of red much darker than your sunset hair. I was going to keep you here on Earth. I had to promise you the moon. Three, I never saw it as a chore, and I never thought badly of you for it, but seeing me fail and seeing you cry and seeing the cuts that had just begun to scar me open once more, and while you cut at your skin, I cut at my soul. I took onto my shoulders the lashes of self-hatred you sent out at yourself. You didn't know you remained. How many times did I just want to walk out and quit and leave you, but one question always came back to me: what's my happiness to your life? So I kept on playing Suicide Hotline 4. I found myself looking just a little too long at the pills in the pantry. We were fighting a war, and I didn't know how deeply you wanted to be run through by reality. 5, you never asked. Not about my day, not how I felt, not why I was so taciturn. You were too concerned with what your ex-boyfriend Nate was up to, too busy boasting about how Aaron was just the sweetest guy and that he was taking you to a dance next week. You didn't ask why I'd become so skinny or why I now had bags under my eyes. You would have known that food now tasted like ash. And I could no longer bear to watch your corpse move back and forth on the end of the rope of my nightmare. 6, I loved you. I promise. 7, I told you when I was a boy I wanted to have big white angel wings. I wanted to fly high and feel the sun on my back and the wind on my face, and I know that that's never going to happen. but I can get close. I can go for a nice stroll up to the rooftop of a 10-story building, hold my toes out the edge, stretch my arms straight out and jump, and if I close my eyes maybe just for a second, I can fly. And baby, that rooftop is looking awfully appetizing right now, and do you remember what you said to me? I don't see why you think I should care. And the world stopped. We were circling the drain like the blood and water once circled yours, like I now wanted to circle mine. For 2 years I untied the noose from your neck and called me, watch as you fastened it to me. I have given these years to you. I can't give you my life. In the same basement where I first told you that I loved you, it began. Baby, we need to talk. And the suicide hotline cut out. And only the dial tone was left to console us.
All right. That was Matt from Skutt Catholic High School, our first competing poet of the night. Really strong bit of personal writing. Yeah, just very strong opening for the bout. So let's see how the judges treat it.
This is what happens. This is what happens. All right now, judges, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, I have an 8.6, an 8.7, a 9.2, a 9.4, and a 9.4. Give it up for your poet. And keep that love going for Waverly.
All right, so with their first poem, Skutt scores a 27.3 cumulative. Nice strong score from the opening spot, which can be tough. Here's Waverly.
Hi, I'm Amanda Marco. I'm a junior at Waverly High School, and this is Anatomy of a Pen and Paper. I don't know how to write poetry. Nobody ever taught me metaphors or inverted syntax or how to move someone through words. Nobody ever handed me a pen and said, make your own paper. I never built a resume of finished, edited works. I kept rambling about the same themes, speaking my life through adjectives and similes, trying to communicate the human condition through hand gestures and vocal inflection. But when nobody teaches you poetry, you learn your own techniques and definitions. You learn that poetry is not a genre, it is a bodily function. The air exchanging between lungs and ears, the steady beat of a heart setting the meter for rhythm and mismatched rhymes you can buy at thrift stores. It is deep in my bones behind marrow and blood cells. A raw madness trapped in a ballpoint pen released by my hand on paper. It's a relentless tug on my heart when I hear my favorite song. It starts with the world behind my eyes taking form in sounds and literary shapes, covering my arms like skin cells, flicking off just as often as they form beneath the surface. Sensory neurons remind me that when I give away my experience too quickly, it draws blood. Every ounce of me works to be whole again, leaving a sliver of glued skin, glued ideas, amassed memories and emotions of standing up for my sister and soaking in her sadness to know the agony of being different. The agony of ruthless teenage girls poking fun at her physicality. The agony of being fearlessly artistic in a school that doesn't understand what true beauty is. They don't understand what it's like to be a person whose circulatory system stretches like tubular symphonies throughout their body. My mind scribbles across every canvas left blank, spreading words like hot breath in the middle of winter. Self-expression is an involuntary action, much like flinching at lipstick smears and fists. I flinch at the format, trying to confine me in a thin body, narrower mind, a vicious mold of thigh gap and flat stomach, pressing up against me like I'm too much for it to handle. So I think in free verse, rereading parts of me left forgotten, the parts where I tried formatting myself to look like a cover girl. I reread the parts where I realized I don't have to change me to fit me. I'm the writer deciding how to live my life, the sculptor shaping my muffin top and thunder thighs, the singer whispering my personal lullaby. We forget we write our own stories. And I want to share my story with my 13-year-old sister, to have my life intertwined with hers. I want my words to guide her to free verse where she has room to grow and not be strangled by toothpick girls and Hollister-clad boys who think they know everything. I want her to know the word kabod, a Hebrew term for glory meaning heavy in weight. I want her to write, to make paper, to ask me for a pencil. I want her to ignore insults because we aren't elementary slurs perfected by the average teenager. We are the writers. The singers, the painters, the sculptors, the uneducated philosophers, the kid in the corner who can spell ambiguity, the morning till night readers, the indecisive doodlers, the outside line scribblers, the daydreaming dabblers, the intelligent procrastinators, and the quiet ones who know too much. We're the poets, and we won't forget it.
That is Waverly High School with a strong piece of writing about writing and about being a poet. Let's see how these judges react to it, huh? Waverly's been showing up strong in all their bouts.
4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, we have an 8.8, an 8.9, an 8.9, a 9.3, and a 9.4. Give it up for your poet. And keep that love.
All right, so that's a 27.1 for Waverly. And Omaha Northwest is going to be up now to open their showing in the bow. This is I see this poet. I've seen this piece a couple times. This is a really inventive piece of poetry. Can't wait for you guys to see it if you haven't seen it before. This one's really cool. Here we go.
I'm Solomon Washington, a poet from Northwest High School. And I'm Solomon Washington, an MC from Northwest High School. When I wrote this, I was an extreme perfectionist. My brain was the Joe Jackson to the Michael Jackson in my pencil. Suspenseful and uneasy, locked up in my skull shell, a blood-stained brain cell in which the inmates of the past took their lives into their own hands. Memories gone, but remain still haunting. Life is a journey to find happiness, and it's as hard as a concrete which my tan suede lungs are accustomed to. Sometimes I know not what to do. Where do I find this peace of mind? Perhaps in a soul like my own. Unguided and confused, the two missing pieces break from their leashes and come together. But my attempts have been plentiful yet fruitless. This world is ruthless and cold-hearted. In school they told me Earth's core was made up of magma and lava, but now I'm convinced that it consists of glaciers and ice. I try to find that spaceship, but I'm just a passenger on the train of thought. And these tracks are the only thing that keep me sane, but at the same time drive me crazy when the spotlight is on me. But all it ever comes out as, I defy gravity, you never follow rules. Rock my competition and break them down into molecules. The atom splitting, rapping magician, back to finish. Subtracting spitters with mathematics and algorithms. According to my calculations, I can proudly say the bass is taking me to a new dimension. Rap oasis, I'm dropping jaws and attracting faces. My claws are retractable, I was mutated, I'm mad beyond imagination. This is the way, but when I wrote this is the way the mindset of the perfectionist functions. But I jump to light speed through the meteor shower of doubt and conjunctions. And do what bails me out of that brain cell. The same thing that helps me analyze why Earth's core is frozen. This pen and pad, the same thing that helps me build this wall when I fall to the dirt. I go beyond Earth's atmosphere with these tall tale boasts. If I can make myself feel like this, then I've already accomplished the mission. These verses and poems are perfect when I put the most into them. But all you'll ever hear is, no one can match what I've accomplished. I grab the mic and make my competition microscopic. Sit back and take it in. Crazy when I raise a pen. Infinite lives and this continues when I play to win. My lyrics are cryogenic, hieroglyphics. The biochemical minutes with this pen, I'm highly gifted. I want every idle witness to blow the violinist. If the sky's the limit, if the sky's the limit, if the sky's the limit, my atmosphere is infinite.
All right. That was a poet from Omaha Northwest. Showing up big. Big reaction from the crowd on that one, as I'm sure you could hear. But let's see how the judges feel about it in just a few seconds.
All right, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, we have an 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.0, a 9.2, and a 9.3. Give it up for your poet.
All right, so that's a 27.2. Very good, good work from Northwest. And our last poet in round one comes from Creighton Prep.
This is different than the last microphone I used.
Hi, I'm Andrew O'Donnell, and I'm a sophomore at Creighton Prep. And this poem is entitled The Place Between Places. There is a place between the lungs and the breath of a person, a place where all the I love yous that were never spoken whisper, a place where the tears of a mother who is sorry for her sins but doesn't know the words to say linger. Is a place where love and pain collide to give birth to a beauty that can only be felt. Is a place where some God is waiting to hold you, tell you how much they love your broken soul. Is a place of complete healing and understanding. It is my home. Is the place you will find me on warm summer days, wishing on flower petals long gone, blowing death into the winds, my breath. An invisible force pushing death on a journey to find new life among the cracked foreign dirt. It is a place that transcends dreams, for it is a reality. It is locked between the breeze and the warm body of the bluebird. It echoes in the silence of a forest after it has rained, and it roars in the silence of an ocean. It is a place that exists between the cosmos of my ears and my eardrums before it has permeated my eardrums. It has permeated my heart, flowing through my body, out through my fingertips. Here, there is eternal dusk. Fireflies illuminate the broken air. Trees whisper generations to their young leaves, and the world inhales perpetual peace. Is a place between your hands and the wind where you will find a lonely little girl laying in a field of dead dandelions. Her body broken, beer bottle bruised, she lays there, holding the weed in her hand like a gift, like a prayer, blowing the seeds to a God who never answers. It is a place that levitates between your pupils in the mist of the world in front of you. It is here now. It is ever present in the words spoken in this room. Can you see it? Can you hear it? Does that matter? As long as it is undeniably there.
That was Creighton Prep taking a very sort of different tactic with their first poem of the night. Nice gentle piece, balancing out the relative aggressiveness, and some of the other ones are kind of mirroring Skutt's. Actually had a nice bit of gentility to it, and that scored well. So still leading. So we'll see how the scores come back here. All right, so going into round two, according to the unofficial score, Skutt and Prep are tied for first with 27.3. Waverly has a 27.1 in fourth place, and Northwest has a 27.2. But those scores are obviously incredibly tight. I think this bout is going to stay close all night long. Waverly is up now to open round two.
Hi, my name is Riley Westerholt. I'm a junior at Waverly High School, and this is my angst poem. When you first heard the words angst poem, I really hope you did not have great expectations. And if you did, let me crush them now. It's hard thinking of a depressing story to tell about your life when you're a middle-class white girl who lives in Nebraska. The most prejudice I've ever had directed at me was the question, so do you ride your horse to school? Instead, I think I should write a poem about something simultaneously hilarious and horribly depressing, otherwise known as my love life. I like to think I don't get asked out because the people in my school are so intimidated by my massive intellect, my grandiose vocabulary, but then I remember that I'm failing for calculus, so I know that's not true. I would like to believe that I've never had a date to a dance because my hips don't lie, but then I remember that they're also bony, angular, and generally look like they could stab you to death, so I dance in dark corners. I need to think that boys don't stop and talk to me in the hallway because they're so enraptured by the way I strut. But then I trip over my feet, again, so I throw that hypothesis away for later. I should think that true beauty lies on the inside, but then I remember that I go to a public high school, and I am just as shallow as everyone else, so I will continue judging you silently. I could think that the reason I slouch so much is because I'm trying to inadvertently communicate that I'm a vulnerable and shy girl. But then I remember how heavy my backpack is, so I try to stay a little straighter in public. I may think that the reason I don't have more friends is the absurd amount of time I spend on the internet, but yeah, actually that one's probably true. I occasionally think I may be good at sports, but then I remember dance, softball, volleyball, gymnastics, and how I get winded just running up the 13 stairs in my house. So I think it's probably a good thing I like poetry so much. I really don't want to come off as being pretentious, but then I remember that my normal facial expression looks something like this. So I'm afraid I've already scared everyone away. I want to believe that all of you poets are secretly yearning for my number, but then I remember that this poem sounds like it's full of self-doubt. And let's be honest, that's no way to make a first impression. Even though I'm failing pre-calculus, I just scored 100 out of 88 points on an English quiz. My massive intellect is intimidating. I've never had a date to a dance because I have moves like Jagger and no one can get over it. Since I'm so clumsy, I'm kind of hoping you will fall for me as hard as I fell for you. Whenever I'm feeling invisible, I like to think about how hot I will be at my high school reunion. How news of my success will have reached everyone and they will regret not thinking about me more. Suddenly I feel a lot better. I slouch a lot, and that only makes me that much more terrifying when you've angered me to the point that I straighten up. Even though I suck at sports, if you see me glaring at you and writing furiously in a notebook, you should probably run, because writers, we're tired of being told that we're not good enough. We're tired of wondering if we're actually not good enough because we are all more than good enough. Every single one of us.
All right now, judges, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, from low to high, we have a 9.0, a 9.3, a 9.3, a 9.4, and a 9.8. Give it up for your and keep it going for Northwest.
Total score 4.82. Up next, Northwest.
My name is Michaela Alberts. I'm a senior at Northwest High School. I'd like to make it clear this poem is not about the woman who sits over there. It's entitled Mother. I'm 5. It's my first time at an airport, staring in as I watched the metal birds soar above me. We boarded the plane. Now, airplanes are supposed to bring you forward, but the one you put me on has kept me in the past for far too long. Every other mammal will kill at even the slightest notion of harm towards their young, but not you. You let him steal my life. Why? Who was this man? Scruffy beard that scratched me as he bent down. This man was not my father, not my teacher, and most definitely not my guardian. No, he was your boyfriend. A man you cheated on my father with. And you thought it all good and well to let him take me to the airplane bathroom. You traded my innocence for his love. And in the end, you lost them both. You let him stalk your cub and poach me for my precious fur. Was it so easy to leave us behind? But no, you couldn't stop there. You had to bring him. He had to steal my life. But I will not give you the satisfaction of me becoming nothing. I will not let him suffer, and I will not let him win. I will stand, trudge on the snow and ice, the water and guck, as they just try to suck my life from me just to finally defy you. When I win my Emmy, when I win my Nobel Peace Prize, and when I win my Oscar, I want you in the front row. You see all you've missed out on. And you can tell your friends all you want that you love me and care for me, but truth be told, you haven't talked to me since I was 7. But I will not fall. I may be a melted candle with only a 7-meter wick left, but that wick will last me until I find a new light. I have trudged this desolate forest far too long. The trees that you planted have bricked my clothes for the last time. Though you think you snuffed out my light, a spark endures. My heart endures, and that spark will multiply. You may have stolen my light, but I will set this forest ablaze. Burning all the lies and pain you caused, the trapped souls finally free. For I am a warrior. The heat and ash becoming body paint, showing my victory. As the fire roars behind me, I feel no pain. My armor covers my skin that you've tainted and let be tainted. For that does not define me. I am free, mother.
That was the Northwest. Let's get some scores up in here. Again, if I haven't mentioned this before, I am Mary the Fecker. We have suddenly switched announcers. Surprise!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. Florida High, 8.9. 9.0. 9.1. 9.1. And a 9.5. Give it up for your poet. And keep that love going for
that was a score of 27.2 for Northwest. Up next, Prep.
I'm Eros Mejia, and I'm a junior at Creighton Prep. And I'm going to call this poem Motivation. All of us want something in this world. Love, money, power, fame. But there's steps we have to take in order to attain what we want. And that's when we must look deep within us to seek for what we really want. Because see, our passions in life are the things that make us who we are. It's in thinking about these things that make our hearts pump so hard and so fast, because we know the desire flows within us. It runs through our veins. It's what gets us up in the mornings. It's what pushes us through the hardest times and gives us hope to continue on, so that one day we can look back and realize that our efforts were not wasted. So when you think about that one thing that makes life worth living, what do you tell yourself? Do you tell yourself you can do it? That you have what it takes? Because if you truly do, then you can already picture yourself getting what you want. You can already imagine what it would look like, what it would sound like, feel, taste, and even smell like. So plan. Think about where you want to end up and how you're going to get there, the steps you're going to have to take so you can act. And I love when Nike's done with this motto, just do it. Because the action is what separates you from the rest. You have to be courageous, and if anything stands in your way, break it down and show it that you come second to no one. And if you fail, it's fine. If the wise saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Because Thomas Edison would not have invented the light bulb if he would have given up after his first failure. Because see, it's in failing and choosing to proceed that bears witness to how much we really want something. Because if you don't love something, you're not willing to go the extra mile, put in the extra weekend, and challenge the status quo as much. When you finally obtained what you've always wanted, reflect on it. Think about how much it means to you and how you'll never take it for granted because the things you work hardest for are the things you appreciate the most. Keep in mind, if you're not fighting for something, if you're not striving for something better. There's no purpose in life. Because your happiness is priceless, and the only one who can put a price tag on it is yourself. You're the only one who can make up an excuse not to be amazing. Realize your self-worth. Tell yourself that you're capable of anything because you really are. Go out there and let your success shine. Let others see it. Go conquer the world, and I wish you all the best.
That was correct. Let's get some scores. Let's get some scores.
All right, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, we have an 8.5, an 8.5, an 8.6, an 8.7, and a 9.2. Give it up for your poet. And keep all that love going for Skutt.
Our next poet and the last poet of the second round is from Skutt.
Hi, my name is Teresa Arts, and I'm a sophomore at Skutt.
I like your words!
And my poem is called The Barely Angel. The barely teenager was worthily immortalized, expected to live past her parents and at least forever. Instead, she chose the quarter life and now lives in my quarter memories. With my feet pointing skyward in a handstand made possible by a younger center of gravity propped up against our tea-light terrace, she asked me, "Don't you wish you could stay here forever?" But for all of the stars, I could not nod. Yes. When single digits turned to double, we returned to our flimsy playground to find that not one, but two elements had changed. She and I. Don't you wish you could leave here forever? But for fear of the dark, I could not share my reasons to stay. She couldn't allow her chapped lips to rest against each other or risk hitting a brick silence, and even her smile looked strained, ready to snap off with the rest of her. Teeth bombarding a pile of spindly limbs, each tooth still fighting to carve one last groove in her anchored tongue, for comfort with the scale screamed numbers through her feet and into her heart. Pleaded with her, show emotion, like the summer child who directs the hose stream of water at the beehive who proved the colony dwelled there, accepting the high risk of getting stung. Riveted by our own stinging wounds, we allowed the barely teenager to slither past each poem of family, the desperate cracks in her mirror. She now rests with a circus of bottles, finding one to bring her home. I wasn't in that white coat drenched room, but I bit my nails and waited outside while freshly sterilized knives and pins dripped leftover good intentions onto the sputtering holes of her asphyxiated adolescent personality. How old does she have to be before chalky click of pills can choke the space behind her tongue? On a day when tears were wet from the sky, only a few shuffling people shook the descent from their shoulders onto the barely teenager in the box that had been labeled child size in the store where no one smiled. The relatives' opinions were sufficiently shown, though she drunk that by leaving so soon. I tried to imagine her soul soaring to whatever heaven she chose, because children are good at getting what they want. Yet a tear still forged its path down my cheek and swirled into a tear duct when I bent to kiss her hand. Baby sister, you look beautiful. Because in the end, my barely teenager had become a barely angel. Beautiful, that's all she'll ever be. Thank you.
That was Skutt with our last poem of the second round. Let's get some scores.
All right, so Creighton's playing And y'all are beginning a little lackluster in y'all clapping, so I'm going to need you to, first of all, judges, give me your score, and then we're going to practice that. Judges, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. 8.8. 8.9. 9.1. A 9.5. And a 9.6. Now give it up for that boy. Now, I want you to clap like you're up here with y'all. Do it. Thank y'all. Now keep that energy up for the rest of the night. Now, we're ready to start round 3. Give it up for your next team opponents, Northwest.
And up first in the third round, Northwest.
Hi, I'm Brittany MacArthur, senior at Northwest High School. And I wrote this poem a couple days ago, and it's sort of the building blocks of who I am. I've heard it 1,000 times, the whispers. Is that chick's anorexic, or does she just not know what a 10-piece from KFC is? The untimely retorts. Be careful when you walk past that girl in the corner. She might steal your purse. Another idiotic spiel. And then you see the surgical scars on my neck, and right before you immerse yourselves in questions, I turn on the robotic answering machine in my head saying, gastroschisis is a birth defect, where a baby is born with their insides outside their body. And still, but blinded by the lens of hypocrisy, you still continue to judge me. A 5-year-old shouldn't have to wonder about people seeing a leak spring from her tummy every time she's forced to eat, tainting her clothes. I shouldn't have had to fight for my life every time I was forced to lay on a cold operating table believing that every surgery would be my last. You still don't see me, but you still think you do. But you didn't see the abuse. Not the scars painted across my flesh, but the wounds cracked into my soul, mentally, physically, emotionally, crumbling the mountain of confidence, obliterating my self-esteem. Left with the questions. Who am I? Why should I exist? Cutting into the chocolate skin on my wrist with lies. Oh, it's fine. She's just got a little white girl trapped inside, you know, behind the nappy hair and them dark brown eyes. Oh, it's okay. Let's ignore the survivor and just acknowledge the labels we've obviously stapled into her being. I belly flopped into a pile of suicide letters, stretching from it's not your fault to I guess it is your fault to life's too much to I'm about to use this cord to asphyxiate myself to the happiness I've been longing for. You still don't see me. Even when my life changed forever, see, nobody noticed when my fake giggles nobody noticed when the fake giggles became my chainmail and the positive attitude that you hated so much was my armor. See, I decided to change the contents of my outsides because I realized that that was all you cared about. I decided to turn every scar into a smile, every Wakefield comment into an exaltation of joy. From that day on, my false face became the only face you would ever see, because I realized that the inside was the only part meant for me.
And that was Northwest with our first poem of the third round. How we doing tonight, Internet? How's it going? Seen any great pictures of cats lately? If you're a cat lady or a cat person, let's get scores.
3, 2, 1, put them up. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.0,
Up next, Creighton Prep.
Hey everybody, I am Darwin from Creighton Prep. And this is a poem called My Evolution. Darwin, a six-letter name given to me upon my birth, the name of my grandfather on my dad's side, who died when my father was only 13. Knowing only his story and bravery, I live on his name with pride. This name, however, was not permanent, shortened to Dar when I was only a child. I grew up with this label, earning many nicknames along the way, ranging from Dar Binks, Dar Loser, Darwin, Darling, and Charles, and the infamous Darth Vader or Maul. Although the latter may have seemed obnoxious, that has earned me a sense of self, giving me an essence of who I am. When I was young, the name Charles Darwin was simply that, a name to me. It was an unimportant name from an unimportant time, but as I grew, so did my curiosity, and thus began my evolution. Growing up in a Catholic creationist family, my belief of God was unceasing. Wholeheartedly, I believed Christianity was the true religion, the only thing that would permit me to enter into the holy, sacred place called heaven. Though with the realization of the existence of the theory, my belief in a single religion began to fade. My family, as devout as they are, believed in the creation of Adam and Eve, that 7 days was all it took to bring this world into existence. But delving into evolution, ascending the ladder of selection known as theory, it took me only 2 weeks to doubt my own church. Upon revealing this change of heart to my mother, she became scared, worried for my existence, as if this belief that I no longer followed the family religion would mean the seat reserved for me in heaven, along with my family and ancestry, would be removed. She took me to church, got me a priest, asked if I was sure of my decision. Unafraid, I answered every question with certainty. Yes, Mom, I'm sure I am agnostic. Yes, this means that I'm not Catholic. No, Mom, this doesn't mean I don't believe in God. It just means I don't think Catholicism is my religion. No, Mom, this wasn't pressured from my friends. It was my own choice. Offended at these words, she became angry at me, asking why I would question the beliefs of a single religion in a sea of millions. Angry, I wanted to retort, pull the answers from my mind rather than from a book written by millennia-old men. Instead, I asked her this: Mom, why would you name me after a man who created this idea? Expect me to not only ignore him, but to not look into him and research his studies. Did you really expect that your firstborn child may not grow up to be the goody two-shoes Catholic child you always dreamed of, as if my individuality and free will were only a lie? You always told me growing up that I represent this family and what we stand for, but now I can't tell if my heritage reflects your beliefs. I am no longer the good Catholic child you sent to in a grade school named Dar. I am now Darwin, the senior, graduating high school and going to college. It's time to let me go and make a name for myself, to represent my own story and make my own character, to be the man I want to be and to make my own theories. So with these final words, I am breaking your tradition. So this is my evolution.
That was Prep. Let's get some scores.
All right now, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. Oh, there we go. From low to high, we have an 8.7, an 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.2, and a 9.5. Give it up for that poet, and keep your love going for Skutt.
Next, call it up from Skutt. My fingers are so great. Got it.
I'm sorry about that. My name is Rebecca Snowden. I am a freshman at Skutt Catholic.
I like your words!
And this poem is called A Sum of My Parts. Whenever I feel upset about myself, I take myself apart, and I make myself feel worse about one small thing. Inevitably, someone will spout words of comfort. No, don't feel like that. You're greater than the sum of your parts. They'll say how all that matters is the whole, the big picture, the entirety of the puzzle of me. But I am a sum of my parts. That big picture is only formed by smaller pictures, and a puzzle can only be formed if every tiny jigsaw piece finds its way into the exactly correct spot for it to be. I am my right hand. This is my writing hand, and with it I have written, could write, and will write 1,000 and more worlds into existence. And with it I'm able to draw images from those worlds that otherwise wouldn't exist. Creatures with horns that have vines growing on through them, hooves of opal stone, and wings made of 1,000 sewn playing cards. Because I can write anything. These stories and images are mine, and if they did exist, somewhere in the wide fabric of time and space, it wouldn't be the same as it would if my hand had brought it to life. Each finger allowing me to do what I please with my pictures and words and messy, messy handwriting. I am my mind, overseer of everything, ruling with synapses to direct everything, hands, fingers, feet, and toes, but that's purely technical. There's another part of my brain, shining in the frontal lobe of my cerebral cortex, a beacon of creativity. With turning gears and machinery, my brain is the conjurer that creates the word that my hand writes into being, together allowing a stream of river through the dry, lined desert of the paper. My brain doubts me sometimes, and sometimes I doubt my brain. I am my feet. I walk. Walking doesn't require thought. It doesn't require a story. I just walk. My feet and legs move to move the whole of me, and I find it miraculous that somehow only my feet and legs can truly walk. I run. Running is harder than walking because sometimes it needs an explanation, but I can keep it to one sentence and just run. I can't fly. Not like I can walk or run, but the small part of me that wishes I could fly is comforted by the knowledge that no one else can either. Each part builds on another and connects throughout the entirety of the complex map of myself, and I live and breathe and feel and hurt, and everything is me, and I am everything. Every cell that forms my body, that's me. Those are my parts, my soul and my heart. I am a million small pictures. I am 1,000 jigsaw pieces. I am, without a doubt, the sum of my parts.
That was our third poem of the night from Skutt. Let's see some numbers.
All right, audience. Get ready to respond to the scores. Judges in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From low to high, we have an 8.9. A 9.3, a 9.4, that's right, a 9.5, and a 9.8. Give it up for your poet, and keep that going for Waverly.
Up next, last poem of the third round, Waverly. Also, trigger warning on this poem, just to keep y'all safe on the internet. Trigger warning on this poem for suicide. Woo, poetry. Again, these people are from Waverly.
Why are you so far from me? Sorry. Do you look good, guys?
Hi, I'm Adria Grossman.
I'm Madison Steckelberg.
I'm Michaela Harrison. We're from Waverly High School, and this is our poem, The Following.
I can't wait to see you on the outside, my Asian beauty.
You said like we were locked in some jail cell. Two teenage girls coincidentally feeling down or a little tired end up in the hospital together. Fate, nothing more, nothing less. We were both depressed, but we made each other happy.
Even if it was just for a second.
I loved our daily texts. I already missed our daily texts because when I didn't get one for just one day, it was okay. I wasn't even worried. I blinked, and when I opened my eyes, I see you on the news instead of in my arms. I see you through a screen instead of in front of me. I see you in photographs of genuine happiness instead of this practice persona of life. And I see you with long hair instead of short. Maybe that's why it took so long for it to hit me. I wonder now if your body felt the way your hair did when you cut it that night with safety scissors. Because that was the last thing in life you would control. I want to know if you felt free, if you would control anything, for that second long drop that felt like a million years, or for just a moment did you regret it and you know it was too late. Know that you would never see your family again. Could you imagine that the woman who found your body will dream about that moment for the rest of her life? I knew you were sad, but you were getting better. You told me that you used to look at the buildings downtown and count the floors to see if when you jumped, that building would let you leave this earth. Because downtown was building after building after building, but you were so much better. You said so. You looked at me and said that downtown was nothing but personality now. It wasn't the buildings, but the material, the people, the look, the attitude. You said
that Lincoln had soul instead of death written across.
Together we realized that there is more to life than living after an attempt. More to life, like a triple stuffed burrito with way too much salt on it from Chipotle, because what the hell is better than that? I hope they treat you well up there, gorgeous. I wish for you to know how beautiful you are, that you still have moonlight to watch the moonflowers bloom in the eye of the darkness, because beautiful things can still happen in the darkest of times. I hope you have your guitar, your ukulele, that you can sing to the angels to give us all hope, that you can sing to me, Trinity McDonald, sing to me. I pray you aren't and weren't in pain after you dared one more step forward. I dream you are free, you are happy, and you are actually living now. No one should go through so much pain to the point where the only way out is to jump, swallow, swing, cut, or pull. I miss you. I love you, white girl. I will always remember you. I wish I could tell you to step away from the edge, tell Trevor Underwood to put the bottle down, tell Taylor Artman to put that damn seatbelt on, tell Billy Tucker to forget the drugs. I wish I could tell us all to look up at the stars that night, to just say thank you, and to let our kindness spread out around us like wildfire.
That was Waverly, last home of the third round.
All right, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From low to high, we have a 9.1, a 9.2, a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 9.7. Give it up to the poets. All right, now, that concludes our third round. So to start out the fourth, give it up for Creighton Prep.
And in the fourth round, first poet of the fourth round, Creighton Prep. Prep.
Hi, I am John Ratz, and I'm a senior at Creighton Prep.
Stay.
This is a story I have dragged myself through for years, sometimes with unfocused rage at a breakneck pace, and at others with the slow apathy of a sleepwalker shambling through the years. This is my family's story, about our most important pain, how we are unhappy in our own unique way. Every group of survivors has its own guilt, and it is so much worse when the victim is right beside you. This is my sister's story, because she cannot tell it herself. Because her history is a constant weeping and gnashing of teeth, not nearly all of it her own. There are some tragedies that need telling, and she has already suffered for too long. It began with a mistake. Batten disease occurs in 0.00003% of births in the United States as a result of a genetic defect in the cell's membranes. Symptoms typically appear at a young age. My sister went in for a checkup in the 2nd grade, typically manifesting as the loss of vision, the onset of epileptic seizures, and a slow degeneration of brain function and speech pattern until she sounds more like an echo than a person, and a loss of motor skills leading to her death because she no longer has the knowledge or the muscles necessary to keep breathing. We bitterly call it a reverse genetic lottery. It is the 25% chance bullet I dodged before I was even born. Patients have a life expectancy in the late teens or early 20s. My sister is 21, and she is one of the lucky ones. Given enough arms to stand on, she can still stumble a few feet. Some days, she speaks sense for a second. Most days, she latches onto a word or two with a constant repetition familiar to parents. I must forgive her for having forgotten me. More often than she remembers my name, I sit as far away from her as our big house will let me, blocked out body and soul so I don't lose my mind too frequently. Even when she is under my protection, I try not to meet her empty gaze or throw my words into the nothing that eats the space between her ears. You might call this some breed of hatred, or at least cowardice, and you might be right, asking the same questions that haunt my nights. But one day, as I walked past her, I looked at her, a majesty with a dirty blonde crown, and I wished, stronger than an enemy ever could, that she had never been thrown into this hungry world that devours her too soon, so slowly. Have you ever loved someone so much that you wish that they had never existed, that their pain was just a possibility, and they only endured in a gentle oblivion? My sister's story is a tragedy she, my family, and I are still enduring. When the end comes, whimpering its way towards us, I wonder if I will weep, and who my tears can be for.
That was Creighton Prep.
All right now, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, we have a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9.9, our first 10 of the night, and our second 10 of the night. All right, y'all, keep that left going for Skutt.
Up next, Skutt. Why am I talking in a bro voice? I don't know, but it sounds like I'm about to have a frat party. Poetry is a frat party. Up next is Skutt.
I'm Polly Smith.
I'm Matt Meyer.
We're students from Skutt Catholic.
I like the word.
The title of this poem is Dreams with Sampling from Flogging Molly.
Build a bridge or maybe two.
Dear Kimmy,
Together, how with footsteps she outgrew.
I don't remember how we met. The memory's folder is cracked and faded and lost somewhere in the drawers of my mind. But I'm told you were scared. You stared at this buck-toothed, loud-mouthed, bossy girl and wondered what on earth had transformed this girl into this obnoxious thing. And is it coming for me next? But like a fungus, I grew on you, digging my roots into your cement walls, cracking your barracks and freeing you. When you laughed, the stars shook from their velvety beds, becoming meteorites that crashed to earth at my feet. When you ran, the grass parted in front of you, caressing each limb and timidly touching your sides. You would take the moon's place when the night came on too fast and the storm clouds thundered in. Oh, for me, we were going to grow old together. We jumped to rocking chairs and hearing aids, a world of pinched cheeks and knitting needles. We weren't obsessed with the little details of life. We didn't care about what happened between now and then. All that mattered was we stood hand in hand against the oncoming storms, and we could weather them. But to tell you the truth, I don't dream much anymore. These past 4 years have kept you from my sight. Your memory haunts me as I toss and turn on the springs that have sung your name ever since you left. The clock ticks off the pace as we walk farther and farther away from each other. Tell me, do you still dream? Or have your dreams turned to empty palms where we once held the world? If we could solve all the twisted puzzles and mind games of time and space, each of our treasure maps would lead us to the places where X marks the spot and our X's would be each other.
She dances in a choreograph.
Together at last we would scream at the heavens till sleep oozed down onto us.
And it was good to joke and have a laugh.
And we would dream again. And I would be able to dream again.
That was yesterday.
Because, to tell you the truth, I don't dream much anymore.
If only today.
And that was Skutt with a duet. Second poem. Fourth round. Let's get some scores. Scores, 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 scores. Error, where are the scores? Error, where are the scores?
All right now, JD, you've been doing a good job. Give it to me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.9, a 9.1, a 9.3, a 9.3, and a 9.6. Give it up for Skutt, and keep that love going for Waverly.
Next, fill it up. Next, fill it up. Waverly, Waverly, Waverly High School, Waverly. Did I mention it's Waverly? I'm sorry. I've had way too much caffeine today. Bye.
Hi, I'm Michaela Harrison. I'm a freshman at Waverly High School, and this is my poem called Answering Homophobia in G Minor. Because my porcelain body couldn't possibly make that note. My sonata of struggles and runs of pleas are played in front of an audience that forgot that rap, R&B, and hip-hop weren't the only genre left. Played in front of parents who only appreciate the oldies. My body screams in fortissimo and cries in pianissimo. Your selected hearing didn't want to listen. Your golden pedestal was too high for me. My classical music was killed when you put the same song on repeat and burned with your inability to expand your playlist. Carved the sheets from my body, stole the notes from my lungs, and pulled every string from my hair. So when a girl gave me her symphony to play and recreate, I was confused. No one wanted to be a part of my band before, so I thought her audition was a joke, but it wasn't. You see, this girl, she brought up my pianissimo and down my forte, fought for my sanity and mezzo. Happiness ran throughout my body and made me almost forget my sadness like a sforzando in my chest. She held me, rocked me to the rhythm of my love, kissed me to the beat of my heart. She screamed at me to fall in love with his composer. She made sculptures with the ashes of my sheet music and held them to her heart. So when you took her from me, stole our love songs and burned our sculptures again and again and again, I was furious. She tried to save our love songs, took the ashes into her heart, but you dug them out of her body and made her instrument leak. The audacity of two different composers coming together to make a chorale of feelings was just absurd. Said we could not play our love songs. My 4/4 would not match her half time. Her sharps would contradict my flats. Our cutoffs would be false. No one would be able to hold our fermatas. We would do nothing but squeak. Where was your music before? Why are you so classical now? When did you learn how to play hate? You didn't care about my music before, so what is so different now? You said all of this to a girl that cares, a composer who knows how to conduct, no matter how judgmental the audience was. You said this to a girl that loved me like Beethoven loved vibration, the girl that used my hair as her violin and stroked it with compassion, rang my vocal cords into echoes of love, reconnected my heartstrings and played every note. She whittled my reed and rang vibrato through my entire body. So when you took her from me, it was no surprise that I just couldn't make music anymore. We never judged your broken keys or took our music and shoved it down your throat. Not once did we comment on your mismatched rhymes bashed against reality, taking back with race, gender, or religion. Let me choose who plays in my symphonies. Now I know we have two different buffs, but let's not judge. Because I want to know the notes that make my body chill and love the director that whispered them into my heart. So next time someone asks me who I love, why can't my only answer be to wonder why it matters?
That was Waverly. God, I'm really sorry, you guys. I'm just kind of doing whatever here. Let's get some scores.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. All right, now, from low to high, we have a 9.2, a 9.3, a 9.3, a 9.5, and a 9.6. Give it up for your poet. And keep it going for Northwest.
And our last individual poet of the night, Northwest High School.
Thank you, whoever said that. Hello, I'm Blaze Livingston from Omaha Northwest High School. This poem is entitled Second Hand. My mom drives me to school. It's March, and a windy storm keeps her window rolled up. She smokes her crisscrosses from a green, soft pack. A dark ash blanket covers me. My teacher asks, "Who smells like cigarettes?" My dad taps his Pall Malls. Out falls one sickening rod. The scent of decaying wood fills the air around my face. I don't play the floor is lava. I play the floor is safe. I duck down and crawl to dodge all the ugly gray clouds. They fly above my head. My sisters rip out camels and black and mild with impatient claws. The need for stress relief is more important than a healthy airway. Their carpet reeks of abandoned factories. I am stuck in the old machines as they breathe in, out, in, out. It gets easier not only for them, but for me. 5 p.m. Saturday. My mother dropped me off at a basketball game. Already glares judge who I am. They think I take in this poison willingly. I don't. Well, I do. The second hand of my family holds this venomous torch right in front of my face. To most clans, smoking is taboo, forbidden. Admit you smoke, you are punished, but not here. Admit you smoke, they will tell you it's about time. In my case, the grime is all over. It's atomically bonded to the walls of my home, bonded to my family, bonded to me. Only I see the damage, only I care. My lungs take it in like air, they are black with age. The pain burns on, ignited ashes of a demonic phoenix ready to rise again. My mother's arm is the phoenix as it flies up to her lips on fire. I am proud she is 4 years sober, but she uses her sobriety as an excuse. My father's fingers are gray, a victim of his own Pompeii, a Mount Vesuvius in his hands. My sisters' faces are covered in the oil from the machines that manufacture their cigars. They cannot see through the dirt. They reach out, only to be burned by mindless mechanisms. They are all trapped in the smog they have settled into. They are chained by smoking. I am on the outskirts of this cloud. I go in. With one hand, I guide them. With the second hand, I wave away the toxic powders. They are free. The smoking chains unshackle. The smoggy mess is gone. But the phoenix rises again. The inferno I extinguish only becomes stronger. More ash covers us. I cannot see the end of the fire. I have lost. But I will win. My mother says to me, don't hold your breath.
That was Northwest with our 4th round last poem, our last individual poem of the night. Let's get some numbers up in here, some arithmetic symbols to represent creative expression.
All right, judges, last time for the 4th round. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put them up. Low to high, 9.2, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, and a 9.6. Give it up for your poets. All right now, ladies and gentlemen, what that is the completion of our first 4 rounds. So we got one round left, and that will be our group-piece round. I will tell you the order in a moment. But before we do that, I need to go ahead and recognize a few people first. First and foremost, thank you to our resident musician, Mr. Brent Crampton. If you have not checked out the House of Blue in New York age, you should do that. Now, also our photographers still are Zach and Chris, and our videographer is James. Also, if you leave here and you're like, hey, you know what? More people should be able to watch this. I know you can't leave home, but what you can do is log onto the interwebs and hear everything that's happening in every bout with our live feed, which is being hosted by the lovely Miss Mary Beth Becker. Say hello to the internet. All right, we also have a couple other things that we need to announce, and in order to do that, I would like you to give a warm round of applause for the Executive Director of the Nebraska Writer Collective, creator of the best job I've ever had.
Oh my God, is that Matt Mason? Oh my God, it's Matt Mason.
Coaches, that way.
Oh, coaches. Coaches over there. Zadika,
Listen to this man.
We're so happy
Listen to this man.
here.
He's going to talk about money.
Thank the folks who make this possible. We took a lot of gambles this year, made a bigger festival, invested more in our teaching artists, which is a good thing. We believe that artists should be able to make a living around here, and we're doing what we can. To help, we've got these little sheets of paper over there. We've got a crowdfunding thing going on right now. We're trying to raise $6,000 for some special things. We're $4,000 in. We just need a couple thousand. So if you have an extra couple bucks, grab one of these. It's got the website that's easy to find. Help us out. But we'd like to also thank the folks who've helped us out already. The Whites Family Foundation's been wonderful to us. Paul and Annette Smith. The Sherwood Foundation, Kiewit Foundation, as well as everybody who's put $5 into that bucket. We're so grateful to everybody. So we've got things like this. Let us know if you want to talk about anything louder than a bomb or make donations. But we'll get back to going in just a few minutes. We'll bring Zadika back up.
Yay!
She's awesome.
Thank you, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen right now is a couple things. First of all, if you see a pony who did something amazing in the first 4 rounds, go talk to those people. They put work in to make sure they put on the best show possible. This is an amazing festival. Please recognize people for the amazing work that they've done.
Hey, Internet, write your favorite poems in the comment sections, please, so I can tell the poets how great they were. That'd be great. Find your favorite poets from the live stream, put the name of their poem into the comment section, and then I'll tell them that they were your favorite poem.
So, party up. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, we're going to take a short dance break right now. Go ahead and dance in your own living room or bedroom or whatever you're dancing in right now. We're just going to be taking a quick break. Give us money, go pee, grab some food, and then we'll be back. Hey, you.
hey, some of these walls might contain some of these things, or some of these walls might not be ready for it. Maybe we need to be a little more specific. To like get more specific about it, but like I give my kids a hard time with the trigger warnings. First, because the research that they're actually sensitive. They have issues with their I can't bring myself to make it because like these are all I've been trying to make it research. Yeah, it's hard. So I want to find out. I just wonder if like at the beginning of the chapter, Skutt's going to have one of these guys. Or like, which is like people on edge the whole time. Instead of like saying that could be a deal.
All right, now this is your 2-minute warning. Good to know. All right, what's your name? Got it.
But I am good enough. Harry Potter reference.
Hey everybody, we're about to do this again, but we're on poet time, so it might be a little longer than we originally thought. For now, prep for 2 minutes.
Calling all team members and audience members. You got about 30 seconds to say your howdy do's and get your groove on. And then round 5 begins. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final round of the second semifinal bout of the 2014 Live Tournament. That's right, show love like you mean it. All right, these are your last 4 poems. So your job, your absolute sacred duty for the next 20 minutes or so is to give every bit of love you have to every person who touches the stage. Y'all with me? All right, now, Northwest, Prep, Skutt, and then Waverly. So first, let's start by clapping. And keep that applause going for Northwest.
Currently, we've got Northwest with a score of 109.4, Prep with 109.6, Skutt with 110.7, Waverly 111.5. Northwest with a group piece coming at you live in real time.
Live. Oh, yes. Deanna. No. I can't see anything. No, skip. Oh, skip her.
My name is Michaela Alberts. I'm a senior at Northwest High School.
My name is Brittany MacArthur. I'm a senior at Northwest High School.
My name is Kayla Pfeiffer. I'm that one freshman from Northwest High School.
And I'm Deanna Buller, a senior from Omaha Northwest High School. And
I see her face.
On the prepubescent girl on her way to getting her first period.
Convinced that the blood issuing from her is a sign from God saying,
"Your time is up."
I see her face. On the pregnant 14-year-old girl convinced by her 18-year-old boyfriend that
sex was the only love that she would receive from anyone.
I see her face.
Painted on the faces of the women in the clinics, afraid to discover the STDs invading their bodies,
or about to let go of the very life they've created because they've been told it's the only way.
Have you seen her face?
Have you seen her face? Have you seen her face?
Contorted with confusion, not knowing what is right because your parents say,
"Be pure."
Just wait. Pounding it into you with the gavel of abstinence.
Not explaining why or answering the question.
Then media comes in. MTV saying,
"Sex is awesome.
Be dirty and dangerous. Use a condom."
What? Society and media, the condemnation of her common sense.
What can she do?
The real question should be, what can we do?
When we see her,
on that young girl's face, we should teach her
that she's just blossoming into the beautiful woman she was meant to be.
When we see her,
on that pregnant 14-year-old, we need to teach her that love isn't sex,
but an unconditional, incomprehensible emotion that will wrap you up like the love she's about to experience for her child.
When we see her painted upon the face in the clinics,
we need to let them know it's okay, regardless the outcome. Why aren't we teaching our girls, our ladies, our women, instead of trapping them in a world of I don't knows and I'll learn from the television? Because I want to know how to teach her,
how to heal her, how to mold her. So when I look in the mirror and see her face,
I'll know.
I'll know.
I'll know.
I'll know that she is just a piece of me.
That was a group piece from Northwest High School. Last poem of the night from Northwest High School. Show Northwest High School some love.
All right, judges. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, we have an 8.9. A 9.0, a 9.2, a 9.3,
hit a button. Is that bad?
You sound great.
It still works. Okay. It still works. Don't worry. Sorry.
I'm Eros Mejia.
I'm John Ratz.
I'm Andrew O'Donnell. Darwin Herzl.
And we are from Creighton Prep.
Straight.
I have been taught to live as if I am a supernova.
Explosive.
Expansive.
Reaching out to devour everything and everyone.
Unlucky enough to be caught in my orbit.
Watch me, this cosmic catastrophe of an ego devouring its world.
My insanity is a stellar event as a star swallows its own reality.
I am powerful.
I am ravenous.
Feed me! There is no bottom to this pit!
At an age where I could not yet walk, I would wrap my swelling gums around anything within my reach.
This gluttony was not seen as disgusting.
Instead, they patted the sharp edges of my forehead.
They tickled fingers across my lips and laughed until I gnawed at them with my gums.
When my teeth finally broke through, I began to gnaw, and there was no more laughter then.
Growing up, I never starved.
Only inflicted perpetual wanting on the world.
Do not pity me!
That only whets the hunger.
Understand this if you can.
There's nothing that I wanted that I could be kept from for long.
My first lessons taught me there was nothing beyond the reach
of my temper.
My will.
Some method of manipulation.
I used these subtle tools to shape my world, and I did not know that they carved back into me affluenza, noun, a painful, contagious, socially transmittable condition of overload, debt, anxiety, and waste resulting from the pursuit of more.
What of remorse?
Are the consequences of your actions, do they feel like an accident?
How far are you willing to go to right your wrongs? Will you even try?
I care as much about the lives of others as I do their deaths.
Does the blade regret the blood that is spilled?
Why should water weep for the poor fools it drowns?
I am just a weapon of circumstance, a trigger, pointed and pulled.
Why should I apologize for being a tool of fate? My body may be whole, but I am just as broken as those I left destroyed.
Beast, monster,
demon, you're eating souls again.
Your eyes are craving.
We cannot allow your feast to continue.
I am not something you can stop.
Put me in any courtroom and I will chew my way out.
Do you know how many crimes it takes to make a culture?
How can you expect the chains to hold against those who created them?
Ethan Couch killed 4 pedestrians in a drunken haze.
10 years probation excused because money robbed him of his morality.
Robert H. Richards IV, heir to the DuPont family fortune, sexually assaulted his own daughter of 3 years old.
8 years of probation, the defense counsel contended he would not do well in prison.
The verdict goes unknown for 5 years. How can this happen? What armor gives you immunity from justice?
Is it the money behind him or the color of his skin?
What color must I be for society to decide I am responsible for my crime?
How sick are we all?
This is not an isolated case.
It is an epidemic.
This is not one beast.
There are many monsters like them.
And they travel in packs.
They're eating their way out of you.
All they want is to be let out.
All they want is to consume.
All they want is everything.
And that was prep. State. Fourth. Second poem. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That was the second poem of the 5th round. Let's hear some scores so I can put myself out of my misery.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, I have a 9.3, a 9.4, a 9.5, and a 9.9. Give it up for Prep and keep it going for Skutt.
Hey, Internet, keep your digital applause going for Skutt. You may be thinking this is a 2-person group piece. Oh God, how could they put up a 2-person group piece? Surprise! There's 2 other people in the back. I'd show you, but I can't work the camera.
No, you, not the mic.
Me here?
Good boy.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Matt Miner.
My name is Corey McElberg.
In the back we have Mitch DiStefano and Rebecca Snowden. We are from Skutt Catholic. And this is To Our Nirvana. In every childish survey of what do you want to be when you grow up, my response was a constant, I don't know.
I still don't. Not because I can't imagine my own personal nirvana, but because I'll never achieve it.
We know this because we have been told so. My friends, peers, family, and the common passerby made it a point to smash every dream I ever had before I could even dream them, with subtle constant reminders of how I'm not the smartest,
not the funniest,
not the most athletic,
not the most handsome.
Perfect.
We have endless potential to be extraordinarily ordinary. We've been told of the idiocy of taking risks.
How dreams don't come true.
How we must take the beaten path because our parents did, and so did theirs.
And theirs.
And theirs.
See, this world isn't about us. It's about reputation. It's about showing how many digits go on our paychecks each month.
It's about how many great suits we can own.
How well we can smile and pretend that this existence that we have chosen isn't slowly killing us inside. And not just us, but the thousands of people that we could have been. The actor,
the teacher,
the boxer,
the musician
are all starving.
And the endless collection of worn-out conversations about the weather.
Boring cliches that get us through the day that we have the audacity to call our souls.
Keep our heads down and our noses to the grindstone, because looking away from our work may give us just enough time to realize
we're not happy.
We're being crushed by the grindstone and molded into another cog in the machine.
Another shade of gray into a monochromic sea of white cotton shirts and cubicles the size of jail cells who shackle us to the percentage signs and plethora of numbers that never seem to end, into the madness of routine of stamp the paper, file the paper, hand the paper,
hand in the paper, provide for the kids who couldn't possibly understand that all that we do for them. Come home, maintain the monotonous monogamy marriage, merely because where else would we go?
This is life. We know this because we have been told so.
Before we make the decision of what we will be when we grow up, we must remember what we wanted to be when we grew up. We must listen to the inner kid in us.
We never grew up.
We only grew old.
And believe me, it is never too late to save a child who has lost their way.
We need only remember.
Remember the shine in our eyes that has long since been extinguished. The boys who would one day grovel at our feet, and everyone who ever told us we couldn't saw that we did.
We need to remember because one day is now. And it lasts from now until the day we die. We just need to take our inner child by the hand and let them lead us to our nirvana.
That was Skutt with the third poem of the group piece round. Let's get some numbers. Audience, can I get show digits?
All right, judges, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put them up. From low to high, we have an 8.9, a 9.3, a 9.3, a 9.3, and a 9.8. Give it up for your poet. And keep that note going for Waverly.
Next poet's up, and the last poet's up. Actually, last poet's Waverly. Hope you've all had a good time.
We're really far apart. I can't. Natalie. I can't get it to turn. I got it. Scoot in. Okay. Look at how far away we are. Oh my goodness. I know, girl. Someone strong. Tap on the microphone. No, it's definitely not on. Hey. You got this. It's stuck. Thank you. We got this. Okay. Mine's on. Okay.
Hi, I'm Michaela Harrison.
I'm Riley Westerholt.
I'm Natalie Harrison. I'm Amanda Marco, and we're from Waverly High School, and this is our poem, Letters to Walt Disney.
Walt Disney. You completely ruined our favorite characters.
You took animations and made them
Abominations. First off, let's talk about the princesses.
Meredith's movie was called Brave.
I mean, ignoring the fact that she fought a bear and refused to choose a husband.
While simultaneously keeping feasts among the clans, which is preposterous.
Her fiery locks were brave, all on their own. That was 3 years of animation.
On her hair.
She is not a Barbie.
She has a stomach.
Did you even watch her movie?
She took an entire plate of pastries.
Not one.
Or two, an entire plate. She is a fearsome princess and she shoots a bow.
Try to change her appearance again.
And she won't be the only one stringing an arrow.
Dear Walt, what was so charming about Cinderella's prince?
He couldn't even remember what she looked like.
They danced all night.
He really had to make every single girl in the kingdom try on the shoe?
He couldn't even rule out the brunettes.
Dear Walt.
Oh, bother. Don't even get me started on Winnie the Pooh.
Maybe slow down on the honey, Winnie.
Your stomach seems ripping. Like, what logic were you using, Walt? Seriously, what are we teaching kids?
That rain is black.
Like your soul?
Or that piglets never grow up?
Or that tigers are indigenous to the United States?
And why is Eeyore so depressed all the time?
He's a donkey, the symbol of perseverance.
Not a slow doormat with no home to lay in front of.
Why is Rabbit so insane about his garden?
What is he growing in there?
And why is there lettuce, a traditionally spring plant with carrots, a late season plant?
Was Christopher Robin high? Is that what's in Rabbit's garden? Dear Walt,
get a clue. Why does the family need a strangely endless supply of honey?
Why do play toys need more food than the family that isn't low income enough to receive food stamps?
Can you explain that, Walt?
Can you explain why everything is bittersweet?
Why we turn to your stories in search of comfort.
Can you explain why death always follows life?
Why we can connect the loss of Simba's father
As if you were our own flesh and blood?
Wrapped around our bones?
Like the childhood stories you provided us with.
Can you explain why these tall tales aren't enough?
Why Hakuna Matata is just a saying.
And not the way we are living. We want to have no worries.
But you yourself know that is impossible.
You gave us a dose of real life in every room.
Eased us into this world that wants to tear our imaginations to shreds.
Made us laugh when we thought we would cry. Walt Disney!
You gave us a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down.
And we gave you nothing but critique after critique.
You told us to wish upon a star.
And we saw streetlights instead.
So we didn't believe you when you told us
that our dreams could come true.
And we're sorry. We didn't mean to twist your plots.
But they were the mere image of pollution.
We turned imperfect works of imagination into flawed cartoons.
You showed us we all make mistakes.
And we didn't want to believe you.
We had been falsified by our own miscommunications.
So we shoved it down the throats of people everywhere, expecting them to give up their dreams for the real world. And we are terribly sorry.
Yours truly,
the young at heart.
Realized Poem of the Night from Waverly. Again, hey, I'm Mary Beth Becker, and I was your Poetry Bob Costas for the night. We're totally done with poetry for this time slot. Let's get numbers.
All right, judges, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. From low to high, we have a 9.3, a 9.4, a 9.5, a 9.7, and a 10. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, hey, Internet. Here are the numbers.
Before I do that, I first of all need to make sure all the students who participated come up here to the stage.
Hey, let's get some scores. Let's get some scores. Let's get some scores.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for doing that without me asking. I live in free fact that I get to do this. But these children are amazing and they've done things at their age. I can only hope to do in the next 40 years that I can. So you've been an amazing audience. But first, let's give you the order. Oh, wait, before I do that, I couldn't bias the judges earlier, so I have to say, happy birthday, 12th birthday to Claire, who skipped her birthday birthday party to come support her sister from Waverly. So happy birthday.
Oh my God, that was so cute. That was so cute. Oh my God.
Now, let's give it up first for Northwest in fourth place. In third place, Creighton Prep.
State, 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 state.
In second place, give it up for Skutt. I like the word. And our winners for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Waverly.
I love my job. I love my job. This isn't even my job. I'm not getting paid to do this, but I love my job. This is so great. Poetry. Oh my God. Go to our website. Give us money. Tell everybody how much you liked their poem. Oh my God. This is so great. Poetry. Oh my God. Bye, everybody. I love you so much.
You feel like watching finals, which is going to be a really great show. Next week, Thursday, April 17th at 7 p.m. at the Holland Center on the main stage.
Oh yeah. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Hey. Hi. You doing all right? I did it. I did it. The computer. Okay. Do you have somebody lined up?
No, but I might just leave the volume on where it should
Okay.
be and leave the camera set on its brightest setting.
Okay. Sorry, I need to go home.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi. How are things?
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is Greg jumping back on. Mary Beth was kind enough to cover for me. We're going to switch over to the next live stream, but if you want to donate to support this work, it's ltapomaha.org and ltapgreatplains.org, and you can share the link for the next live stream opening very soon. That's youtube.com/ltapomaha. Still trying to line up a live stream host for that bout, but you might just be on your own, tracking your own scores. Sorry about that. But we'll be here. We'll be right back on the other live stream. We'll see you there.